So I read When the Moon Hatched, and I didn't want to read this book. I hemmed and hawed over purchasing this book since the beginning of last year. I think I still have footage of us being in the store. My sister actually picked it up, and I said, I've heard it's got mixed reviews, and I talked her out of purchasing it. These sprayed edges, they keep coming for my money. All the books that I don't know if you can even see that in that top corner. The Courting of Bristol Keats. I haven't even read that yet, but those sprayed edges got me. This book here, The Throne of the Fallen, haven't read it yet. I started it. It's just not grabbing me, but it's so pretty that I was like, I love this. I don't typically make decisions like this. Like, I don't just, oh, it's pretty, I must have it. I don't typically do that, but come on. I saw that and I liked, I don't know if you can see how reflective it is, but I like that, but the pink, it got me. It's like, I gotta get this. No, you don't. Yes, I do. So, of course, I had to get this edition of Onyx Storm because I was too late to the Fourth Wing party to get the special editions of the other, of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. But when Onyx Storm came out and I saw it was going to have the cover and look like, I was like, I'm getting it. I'm getting the special edition. I want it. And I already know I'm going to love it because I loved book 1 and 2. They were both 5, 6 stars for me. And you can hate me now. You can hate that series. They were excellent. I'm getting back to When the Moon Hatched just a second. But I'm just showing you like how these spray edges, haven't read this yet. But come on, like these spray edges are getting me, and they're making the book so pretty that it's like, okay, I have to take a chance on that. Like, A Study in Drowning. I haven't read this yet. I plan to, but that's what got me. Because they're little books. I mean, come on. It's books on a book. I had to get it. That's what got me. That's what got me with In the Lives of Puppets. I saw it like this. And I was like, what is this? Because that green is just so vibrant and pretty. And so I got In the Lives of Puppets. So these sprayed edges, they're just coming for all my paper. Blood Over Brighthaven, I just talked about. I saw it on the shelf like this. That's how it was sat out. And I was like, what is that? Pretty books. And I don't even have special editions. Could you imagine if I was willing to pay the money for a special edition? But the thing is, if I'm going to get a special edition, it has to be something I already love. If I'm going to pay that kind of money, it has to be a book I already love. And the books that I want a special edition of, I haven't seen because they're older books. So like The Wheel of Time, I don't see any special editions of those, and that's my favorite series of all time. So it's like, if I'm gonna get a special edition of something, that it would be that. But I haven't seen any, and it's a 14-book series, so you already know that would be crazy money. So I don't know, I might have to commission or make my own for that. Maybe like 1 or 2 other books would I want like an actual special edition of. Like, I would get a special edition of the first 2 of the Fourth Wing because I absolutely love the series. But the rest of these books, I don't know. No, I'm not really wanting. But back to When the Moon Hatched. So the sprayed edges drew me in, and I was like, you know what? Let's just take a chance. Let's see. I know this has mixed reviews, but from the time I started this book, I kept looking for what people didn't like. And I did not find it. I don't know what you were not enjoying about this story. I think I heard someone say they didn't like all the poetic prose, but I don't know how far they read, because the prologue has a lot of poetic prose, but the prologue is literally describing the creation of their world. So I kind of expect that to be a little more than just, and then the god of air created the wind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would want that to be a little beautiful to make me like understand the beauty of this world being created, right? But once you get past that, The poetic prose, the purple prosiness, the lyrical prose, that's literally just like in certain moments, like when she's describing certain things, right? To make you feel it. Because this character, the main female character, Rave, this is not how I imagine her, but this is a depiction of her. The main female character, Rave, she has so many layers to her story and who she is and the trauma she's experienced and what she's gone through. And you need to feel it for her because she has gone through so much. I think this is the most I've read any character having gone through, and we haven't even fully uncovered her story. So it's just like, wow, the level of trauma she's experienced is crazy. And so she is a mercenary. She lives a life of violence, and she's experienced so much violence. And so in this story, you have her imprisoned, and it's an uncovering of who she is, what's going on, and how can she get out of the predicament she's in. She's on a revenge kick as well. And the love in this story between her and the main male character, Khan. If you love Zayden Riorson, I can't see you not loving Khan. He is a love for the ages. Just the way he loves her and feels towards her is everything. And their connection, their vibe, love it. Like the way she, and this is a prosy moment, but the way she describes, she can smell him, he can smell her, because they are fae, I mentioned that. But the way she describes his smell, she said, "My lungs pull full of his scent, so deep and drugging, like smelted stone topped with a ladle of cream." And I was just like, wow. I don't know what stone smells like, but that sounds amazing. And I'm like, this makes you, it makes you imagine. It brings in your imagination to play. Instead of this author just creating this fantasy world and you just kind of walking in and reading it, it's like she's bringing your imagination forward. Like, imagine that, you know? And so anyway, the story, the characters in this, the way the story is unfolding, I was here for it. I give this 5 stars. And I know there's going to be a second book. I think it comes out in October, someone said. I don't know how many she intends to write, but I'm here for it. I loved every second of this read. This was definitely worth it. And I'm like, I'm really upset with myself that I took this long to pick it up, because I would have flown through this last year, because I couldn't put it down. And there's so many moments that I was just like, wow, like her prose just went with the moment. It just made that moment all the more. Like in the beginning, when she's describing the world being created, she uses this description for the particular god, that the job he was doing. They sing these songs, and it said his song was a lonely echo that haunted the empty space between near and distant suns, inaudible in its depth, no matter how loud he sang. It just didn't matter. Like he's the god of, like, I don't want to say nothingness, but like he's the god of ether. Like he's the god of the space. So it's like he's valuable, but you can't see his value. You can't. He's the god of like the space between. Like that's his contribution, is the emptiness for you to fill. And so he's valuable, but you can't see his value. So he's overlooked, abused, and mistreated. And it's just like, oh, like your heart breaks for this guy, because it's like he deserves more. Like all he wants is to be recognized, and his whole essence is in the fact that he's the empty space. It's This book was so good. I loved it. I loved the magic system. I loved the love between Khan and Rave, and the characters, the action, the gore, because this book is bloody, and the dragons, like in Fourth Wing, your dragons have personality, and you get to experience their humor, their viciousness. In this, you don't get like their personality as far as like their thoughts, but you get the beauty of like this dragon realm and the different kinds of dragons and how they die and live. And it's just, this was a gorgeous story. That's how I want to describe it. A gorgeous story. Anyway, if you have a minute, you want to pick this up, you've been hemming and hawing, just go ahead and give it a read. Give it a read and give yourself at least 3 chapters. Not just the prologue, at least 3 chapters. That's what I typically do. 2 to 3 chapters, and I keep the receipt in it. And I give it a good try and see how you feel about it. All right. I hope to see you in the next one. I hope you like this reading vlog. And like and subscribe. All right. Bye.